Oh, lovely meeting with you both today. My name's Kate, I'm from Contact, and I'm with Mandy and Lucy, who are parent volunteers. And today we're just going to have a very quick 5 minutes talk about the pressures of Christmas and what the challenges are. So, what pops into your head, first of all, Mandy? What the challenges are?
Oh, overwhelmed, change at school. Oh, trying to get my little boy just struggles with any change. And the Christmas tree, we've had he wants to put the Christmas tree up, but then he has a meltdown because he can't cope with it. So we have to really try and skate because he's neurodiverse on the neurodiverse pathway. We have to just really try and keep it as calm as we can, but also thinking, what was the question again?
What are the challenges of Christmas? I think
Oh,
the first
challenges,
thing you
and
said.
also with my daughter eating. So it's just sort of like, how can you make it evolve for her? Like when you do like the Christmas countdown and things like that, about doing things a little bit different, really.
Yeah. And what challenges are for you, Lucy, around Christmas?
I think the biggest thing was automatically doing what we'd always done before. So before Flynn was born, and then when he was really little, so us travelling to visit relatives on Boxing Day, and for parties and things like that. Putting the tree up, putting the decorations up, wrapping the presents. All of that just had to sort of be there suddenly, led by Flynn, because those things just became really difficult. So we had to start saying to people, "Well, really, we'll need you to come to us if you can, if it's all possible." We'd started to, I remember only having a tiny tree, trying to explain to Nia that we do some of those things, but that they'd need to be, a bit more low key. Um, and things change. Things have changed for us now. Finn's really much more keener to engage with Christmas. So it's just, I think, trying to relax about it a little bit, trying to let your child lead you, to try and minimize the anxiety for everybody, for them and for you, and the difficulties, trying to let them, be led by what it is that they need it. Because as I say, ours have changed quite a lot over time. Being flexible and being led by what your child wants, we've always found is best.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, there's so much sensory overstimulation, the lights, um, the sounds, the smells, people, coming to visit you, complete change of routine. And I guess what you could do is flip that on its head, and actually, you know, scale it back, scale it back, and just see how your children cope. Does it matter if the presents aren't wrapped? Not at all. And many children with autism in particular really struggle with surprises. They need to know what's happening next. So a wrap present could be a real trigger. Um, Anything I've just said then that makes you think anything? We'll go to Mandy first.
Say that again around. I just put here saying no really resonated with me because often there's a lot of pressure to go and do different things around Christmas. And I've had to sort of like we used to go to my parents, whereas we couldn't do that with all of the challenges that we had around, and we have to try and keep it quiet. So, really trying to put you and your family first, really, which can be really difficult.
100%, 100%. And saying no to others is saying yes to yourself. So you've got to put yourself first. And we see all these amazing, perfect pictures of Christmas, of TV adverts, of social media. Um, and it's not true. Things aren't perfect. We can enjoy time with our family, but it has to be suited to us, and it's different for everybody.
Yeah, if,
Absolutely.
if your child doesn't want to wear matching pajamas with you, or any pajamas, then it's not something worth beating yourself up about, is it? You see all these pictures of the whole family in their matching pajamas, and all the visits to Santa. I mean, we took Flynn to Santa feeling like we should more than one occasion. And he's obviously he's given Flynn a present, and Flynn's just handed it straight back to him. Because
Yeah.
he's just like, what do I want that for? Because, you know, he just doesn't understand what he's doing there, who he is, why he's giving him a present. And instead of thinking, well, we've got to do it anyway because we should, we just think, well, it's not suitable for Flynn. So be confident in your decision that you know what is right for your child, and don't feel like you've just got to, you know, do all those things because that's what's expected of you. You know, it's what you should be doing, because what you should be doing is what's right for you and your family, isn't it?
Yeah, I've heard that some families don't put their tree up right until Christmas Eve. Some don't put a tree up at all. Some let their children put the tree up and decorate. And in some cases that could be all the decorations are lined up. But does it really matter?
Christmas is for the children.
Yeah.
Well, Finn, I've got a Santa that I put in the same place every year. And for every year, we'll have this same game where he'll sort of keep removing it from where it is, because it's not normally there. And I'll put it back, and then he'll move it, and I'll put it back, and he'll move it, and I'll put it back, and then he'll just accept it then. Oh, okay. But we always have to have this little, I mean, I always think, I wonder if he'll do it this year. Because now he does know, I suppose, that Santa's been there for a couple of years, that Santa will probably be there. But it doesn't really upset him. He's just sort of, oh no, that doesn't go there. And then he'll accept that, oh, okay, it goes there. So it's just, but if he, you know, if he was consistently doing that again and again and again, I'd just put, you know, just move the light up Santa out of the way. It's just sometimes just a bit of suck it and see as well, and just see what, you know, what you need to do, or and not worrying
It's
about
finding your
it.
compromises as well, isn't it, Lucy?
Yeah.
Finding what, you know, you compromise on things.
Yeah, I mean, if he was still moving that Santa 20 times after I put it back, I'd be thinking, why would I, like, I'm not going to bother, am I? Like,
Yeah.
not crazy. I'm not going to keep putting it back again and again and again. It's, you know, he does it 2 or 3 times, and yes, who's going to win? Who's going to win? And usually it's just like, oh, okay, goes there then. And then it was funny the other day, he was pointing at, he was talking about Santa and pointing at the place on the floor that we tend to, you know, so we tended to make this sort of couple of piles of presents and the sack, and he was sort of pointing at, you know, oh, that's where my presents go. And there's a time when he just wouldn't go near the present.
That's incredible though, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think, you know,
really come
the
so far.
Santa is a visual as well. It's an object of reference for him to show that there's going to be some change in this house. I don't know if either of you have ever used anything like a social story around Christmas, or whether you do it verbally, whether you mention it now and again, or whether it doesn't bother your household at all and you don't buy into it.
Yeah, I think we certainly did have to do a lot more talking, a lot more preparation, you know. But now it's not like Flynn's been talking to me about it at the beginning, like he's been when Santa brings me presents, DVDs, Christmas tree, and because he knows the date, he always knows the date, so he knows that today is Thursday the 28th of November. So
yeah,
you know, and they're doing so much at school. They do so much at school, like they were making Christmas tiles yesterday. So the things already start school, and so they're talking all the time. So now his understanding has developed a little bit. That's really helped to make changes and support us at home with Christmas. But yeah, it just seems much more laid back about it. But I think it's understanding that your child will change and can change, and just try not to let that upset you too much, and you know, just go with the flow a little bit.
yeah. What are your definite don'ts for Christmas, you know, and saying no? Mandy, what springs to your mind about saying no?
Oh, I do. I say no before I say yes, because it a lot of things we've got to do. So, for example, if we were going to go to a family member's house, it would be the weather, if my children were well, if we were having a good day or not having a good day, you know, and thinking about the distance and all of the medication and everything we've got. But the weather is the weather, really. And the overwhelm for the children. So I initially would say no, but can I think about it? Or if we can come, can I let you know?
Yeah, yeah. I guess changes in routine can cause major challenges as well.
That's what that I think that sort of links in a bit with what you said about the social still stories, really. Uh, it's the change, it isn't necessarily Christmas, it's the change of routine. And I feel like uh, my son particularly just gets really overwhelmed with the change, and it's really exciting and really great, don't get me wrong, but it's just all so much going on. He just
Overstimulation.
can't cope with it.
Yeah.
Mm.
So what do you do?
I keep it as low key as possible, but me and Mum are having this debate at the moment of the Christmas tree. I'd be quite happy not to have one or have like a fabric tree because my daughter is mentally handicapped and like she's likely to put things in her mouth, the glass and things like that. So I'm sort of thinking about things that we can have around the house that are safe, but I'd be quite happy not to have a Christmas tree. We try and keep it low key. We stay at home, we put no pressure on ourselves when we're going to have our dinner or anything like that. We just try and keep it as low key as we can, and a bit like Lucy said, be led by the children, really.
Yeah, and you can
Yeah,
get all sorts of
definitely.
different things now, can't you? You can get like a fabric tree, or you can get a tree. There's one sort of made of sticks that are like attached to your actual wall, and you could get a wooden one with, and you could put a couple of decorations on it, but it's completely suspended on the wall, so
Yeah,
safe
my son
either
had one
way.
that was a felt one. He really enjoyed more than doing the Christmas tree, having this little felt Christmas tree where he put all the little decorations on this little felt Christmas tree and the little
Yeah.
like light boxes and things like that. He really liked them sorts of things, which I think is quite unusual for children. I don't know, maybe I might be wrong. Let me know if I'm wrong, but he liked just the little lights and the little houses and the little tea lights and putting the fabric decorations on the fabric tree, and yeah, he liked them sorts of things.
Mm.
That's amazing. I think there's uh no right or wrong way. Um, and there's sometimes you can do a story, like a social story about what's going to happen, what the child can do if it's too much. You can take photographs, and just make sure that your children have got somewhere to escape to or a room of quietness. But it's just one day.
That's why it's always been easier for us to be here, really, because
Yeah.
then all the rest of stuff is here. His DVDs are here. His room with a telly in is here. His familiarity. So it's a lot easier for us to manage him as well in an environment that we're familiar with. We know we've got, where we know the door will lock. All the sorts of things that make it a more relaxing, day for all
Yeah,
of
you're not
us.
making too many changes there either, are
Yeah,
you? So you're
you
still
have to take your
getting,
stuff with you. You're taking an awful lot of
yeah,
stuff to people's houses, and then you feel like, if he does want to leave, if he's travelled somewhere, then what if he wants to leave? And what if he's sort of trying to mooch around? We'll go to people's houses and sometimes try and get in their beds and all that. And I know it's with his family and they're understanding, but it's just stress sometimes that you can do without, to be honest. Like on a day when you're,
yeah.
trying to enjoy yourself, it's just a stress that you're putting upon yourself, all of
I
you.
think the message here is you've got to do what's right for you at the
Mm,
time.
mm,
And, whether that is you don't go to things that you're invited to, then you don't. And you don't have any guilt over it or any worry about it. And you explain to people it's, you know,
Yeah, can I
just the
add
way
there
it
as
is.
well? Thinking about Polly being disabled, we don't know if we sort of live on the edge of we don't know when our next hospital visit is going to be.
Yeah.
I missed my son's first birthday because my daughter was in hospital. And it's sort of taken away that guilt as well at the end of the day. For us, it could be a possibility we could spend Christmas in hospital, like I can imagine a lot of families, but you can celebrate these things in your own ways.
mm.
Yeah.
You could
Yeah.
make a Christmas day on a completely different day, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Or just missing it all together at that time, because I think sometimes, it's hard when you've got a child in hospital. But they
Mm.
make it fun too when it's in hospital, so they wouldn't get, there's definitely lots going on everywhere.
They are great at that, aren't they? It's like when I was in hospital with Flynn through Easter, they brought us Easter eggs every day, and and they were really sweet at sort of making up for the fact that we weren't at home. and they are really good at that sort of stuff, aren't they, in hospital with children?
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. The other thing I'd mention is, if you want people to come to you because it's easier than you moving away, obviously the pressures then of having your home in a particular way and making it able to fit everybody. And then are you then ended up catering and hosting for everyone? So there's things to think about, isn't there, really? Maybe it would work to have people come to you, but maybe they need to bring all of the Christmas dinner and everything else that you need, and that's another way of getting help, especially if the pressure on is on for you to go elsewhere, is to say, okay, the only way it's going to work is either if you come to us and help, or we come to you another day,
I think
or
we stopped doing Christmas Day together quite some time ago because my parents are happy to spend it just themselves, and we're happy to spend it just with us as a family. And it just keeps the day as easy, simple, and just low key as enjoyable as possible. And we always have my parents here on Boxing Day for a buffet, but they bring some food. My mum usually makes dessert, bring a bottle of wine, or that we'll sort of do it. Although it's in my home, we'll sort
Hmm,
of work it between us to just to have a nice, again, easy day as we can. But we tend to always do that on Boxing Day instead of the pressure of
yeah,
Christmas Day and Christmas lunch and that sort of stuff.
I think that sounds brilliant. I really do.
We
And
always
it's
enjoy
good
it.
that you've got to this stage where you've got your family are on board, your
Yeah.
grandparents.
Yeah, no, everybody's pretty supportive of of working around us more. In fact, it's coming to the point where that's just the way it is now, that they come to us and they work it around. And we're actually getting to a point where there's a possibility probably that we'd be able to take Flynn out and about a little bit more because he's a little bit easier than he has been in the past. But it's just the way it is now. So it's almost, yeah, I'm like, oh, I wonder if we can ever go back to going to descending on anyone else again and them cooking for me, because it is tends to be that, oh yeah, I do the hosting and the cooking because they come to me because that's what needed to happen. Now I'm like, oh, actually, I'm wondering if because things just become a new norm, whereas actually I'm thinking, oh, I wonder if things have changed again a little bit now, or we can. So I don't know. It's yeah, it's a hard one.
It is, isn't it? And change is difficult. Some change is good. So it's
Yeah.
always worth, considering these things, but always at the right time for you. And maybe
Mm.
Christmas isn't the time to test those things. But
Yeah.
but yeah, it sounds really positive, Lucy. And I also just want to say to anybody that's listening to, feel comfortable about coming to these Let's Chat sessions. We talk about lots of different things, and sometimes we might go off the theme as well. It depends what we need to talk about. But you're in very good company here with Mandy and Lucy. Um, have you got any one last thing to say, um, Mandy and Lucy? Mandy first. What you would say to another parent who might be worrying about Christmas?
Well, maybe you're not alone, and find your tribe. Sometimes you can be at the beginning of your journey, can't you? And it can be really overwhelming, but there's lots of us out there that can support you.
Yeah, and it's also very what's the word? Christmas is all about finances and spending money, etc., and doing all these things. And it never used to be like that. So, we
Uh,
don't have to conform to the hype of Christmas. We don't have to at all. And do what you feels right for you. Feel strong about what you're feeling. Um,
it has become very commercialised, hasn't it? And I often find it's a bit of an anticlimax. Such a dramatic build up to it, isn't it? We shop like there's no tomorrow and prepare our homes you know, like mad. And actually, it's for months beforehand, we're preparing for it, planning for it, and saving for it, and it's come and gone, and it's just a day when all's said and done, isn't it?
it is, isn't it? What would you say, Lucy, to parents who might be worrying about it?
Just that really. That remember, it is only a day in time, and do what you feel is the best for your family. Don't feel like you have to, you know, visit Santa. You know, you have to have your matching pajamas. You have to, you know, watch Christmas films on Christmas Day, and you do what you want, when it suits you. Eat what you want, open presents when you want, or, you know, don't have presents at all. Whatever is best for you, and let it be led by your children. Yeah.
That's absolutely wonderful. Thank you both for having a good chat today. Absolutely brilliant as usual. And I'll look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you. Nice to speak to you.
Oh,
Yeah, see you all again.
take care,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.